Hello, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. I think we're going to call it like lunchtime with Latrice, lessons with Latrice. Welcome. Had a little tech issues. I had to restart my computer and then update some of my software. So we're just starting a little late, but the show will go on. I'm going to make this quick. About a 10-minute live is what I'm shooting for today. I want to make sure that I give you all the information, tell you all about some exciting things that we have coming up, and making sure that you all start off your week great. So happy Monday. I am Latrice Huff. Hi, welcome to my network. Welcome to my community. If you're new here, chime in, give me a hey, give me a hi, let me know where you're joining from. We usually going live on LinkedIn and YouTube simultaneously. And I have people joining in from all over the country and all over the world. So give me a hey, hi, let me know where you're joining in from. My goal is to put more money and more power in the hands of women of color. I help you increase your salary and your revenue by simply improving your personal brand. Simple as that, right? Very simple, what we help you do. The results have been amazing. I just heard from one of my clients, and she's now living part-time in Jamaica. She's saying Jamaica does need people to come. She's like, they are rebuilding and they do need tourism, but she's living part-time in Jamaica. I have another client who just reached out to me and told me that she had an interview for a $230,000 role. This is a Black woman. They're both Black women in 2025. I'm saying that to share there are opportunities still out there. Okay. So, with that, what I really want to talk to you all about is how to lead without overworking, how to set boundaries that every woman of color needs. When you start to set healthy boundaries, and we're not just setting the boundaries, we're enforcing them. So, we're not just going to come up with them, write them down, and put them away. We're going to enforce the boundary. When you do that, you have more time, you have more freedom, you have more flexibility, you have more clarity, you have more time for yourself. So this is why setting boundaries and not overworking is so important. On the flip side, what can it cost you? I have seen when we overwork, when we let people overstep on our boundaries, it costs us our peace. It can cost us money. It costs us time. It costs us time with our family. It can cost us our goals. Y'all, do y'all see this? Sorry, I have a fly that just like came in my shot. But I've seen on one side, I've seen my clients when we work on their mindset, their messaging, their manifestation, which is part of my 3M formula. I've seen the results, and it's not just results, it's transformation where their life looks completely different by before. This is their life by design versus when women are first coming to me and they're overworking, they're stressed out, they're underpaid, under supported, and not setting any boundaries. Okay. And let's just be clear, boundaries, and I love this, Mel Robinson said this, is a set of behaviors and standards for you, not the other person. It is about your behavior. So if someone does this, you will be doing this. Or if this happens, this is your behavior. Okay. So think about boundaries, not controlling someone else, but about you, what you will tolerate and not tolerate, how you will behave and think, your boundaries. Okay. A set of behavior and standards for yourself, not someone else. So I wanted to be clear on exactly the definition of boundaries. And when we overwork, when we allow people to overstep our boundaries, I've seen people doing their boss's job, not getting paid a dime. I have seen people doing all the work of their teams and not taking any credit for it. I've seen people manage and initiate projects just to give credit or have someone else take credit for their work and not say anything. Okay. I've seen women be stuck in their career or on a certain salary range simply because they're overworking and feel like if they ask for more money, they'll have to work more, not really understanding that they're just allowing someone to violate their boundaries. Okay. So this is what we're going to talk about today. So I wanted to tell y'all why it's so important. And sorry, if y'all see, I have no idea why all of a sudden that fly just came into my shot. No worries. All right. So here's the thing I want to let you know you can lead effectively, you can be an effective leader and have capacity to do things that you want to do. But you cannot lead effectively if you are exhausted. Okay. If you are exhausted, ladies, you cannot lead effectively. And let me tell you how I define leadership. Leading and leadership is defined by influence. You have impact, and you have the income of a leader. Okay. You need all three. If you have the influence and the impact, but you're not getting the income, you're being overworked. Okay. They're giving you everything but the title and the salary. And that's not what we're doing here. You can lead effectively when you have established boundaries. You cannot lead effectively if you are exhausted. We need to write that up. That needs to be a whole post, okay? Establish boundaries, you can lead effectively. No boundaries, or if you're exhausted, you cannot be an effective leader. You're going to be burned out, okay? So I want to talk about the difference between helpful and over functioning. What I see so many people do is thinking that they need to do the job of every person on their team, or even if you're an individual contributor, thinking that you need to do everybody's job around you. And that's simply not true. As a leader or a high level individual contributor, what you need to know is how to get the job done. That can be calling in a temp. That can be motivating your team. That can be encouraging your team. That can be replacing someone. But ultimately, the job needs to be done. It does not need to be done by you. And what I've noticed when we talk about overworking and not having boundaries is if our team member or our staff member doesn't do something, then we think we need to do it like ourselves. And that's simply not true. It leads to overworking. Okay. I also see so many people doing the work of their boss, not asking for credit, not taking the credit, not even saying anything, right? Not even putting it on their resume so that they can now apply for their boss's job. If you do the work, you should be getting credit for it. Okay. Because here's the thing, if you don't take credit for it and you don't establish exactly what you want and some healthy boundaries, your reward for great work will be more work. And I was stuck in that cycle of being quiet. And then when I realized that wasn't the way to go, I started getting promoted and getting raises, I would say every year to every other year. And she was a friend and a coworker, and she came to me and she was like, how are you doing this? Right. I was like, hey, I am like, one, I was delegating. I was like, I'm delegating, I'm saying no. And so that allowed me to say yes and work effectively to the things that were in my realm, right? And she was like, hey, but I thought if I just sat here, kept my head down and worked, I would get promoted. And I was like, girl, they're just giving you more work. I was like, who told you that? That's simply not true. You will be rewarded with more work. So it is important that we set healthy boundaries, meaning you have to be able to say no to some things. You have to. And what I find, not only, and I'm going to say we, as women of color and Black women, do we not say no, we actually volunteer. I had one woman who was like, I'm volunteering on 6 committees. I'm on the ERG, head of the ERG. I'm on this. And I was like, where is this taking you? Like, do you want to do this? She's like, no, it'll just look good on my resume. I said, is it on your resume? She's like, no, not yet. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? If you want to volunteer to lead a project, there should be some alignment to where you want to go, and you should be speaking about it. If there's no alignment, you do have the option to say no when someone comes to you with something. You also don't need to volunteer for every single thing. And I was caught up in this too. So I'm telling you all by experience. Then once I realized, hey, I can volunteer for those things that I thoroughly enjoy or those things that align with my future career goals. Anything other than that, I'm not being guilted into working more for free. For free. All right. So knowing when to say yes and no, establishing the healthy boundaries and having that language for it. This is some of the things I teach my clients is how to speak about it. We're not just going to be like, no, I'm not doing it. There's a healthy and professional way to set a boundary. And that's what we work on. And that's what we want. Okay. Then, and this may hurt some feelings, stop carrying your team. Let them do their own work. They will get used to you doing the work. I had a client, she was doing so much of her staff's work that the staff started coming to her about things she didn't do that was actually their work. It got crazy. She was literally working 7 days a week, and her team was like, oh, you forgot to do this. You didn't do this. Why? I was like, who's the boss, you or them? And eventually she had to retrain her team, and the members that could not get on board, she actually had to let them go. She had to transition them out. But when she did this, she got about 10 hours a week back. She wound up having more peace, stopped working on the weekends, and she was making more money from her hourly rate, and then actually got positioned for a promotion because she did these things. So overworking is not going to lead you to that promotion. It's just going to lead you to burnout. This is why we need to set these healthy boundaries. And then we want to also create an environment of accountability. Whether that is giving praise, whether that is sometimes we have to get reports and have people tell us what they did. You need to create an environment where your team and the people around you are accountable for their own work, for their time. Okay. This is so important. You can be a leader without overworking. I always tell people, think about your boss or your boss's boss. Are they working 50, 60, 80 hours a week, or are they working 40 hours a week and 10 of those hours they working from home? And another 10, they could be out having meetings and lunches. And I learned this, y'all. I'll never forget. I was sitting in my office and my boss came in dressed professionally. Next thing I know, he changed in like I think it was like the Oreos or something, and they went out. And I was like, oh, and he was getting promoted. I was like, well, next time they go to an Oreos game or have a retreat, I'm being in it. I'm on there. I'm on there. I'm saying this to say we might have been taught, and I know I was, you have to work twice as hard for half as much. You have to keep your head down and keep working, 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 and hopefully they'll notice you. Y'all, that doesn't necessarily work in corporate America, and it doesn't work right now where we are. You need to be more strategic about your time. You need to be more strategic and intentional about your boundaries and your space. And when you are overworking, and I tell women this, you're actually making less money. Like if you start to look at your hourly rate based on the hours that you're working, like, what is this? You're like, this isn't adding up. All right. So this is why we need to have boundaries in place, and we need to be learning how not to overwork. You can get your job done without overworking. You can be an effective leader without overworking. Okay. All right, I wanted to make this brief. If you are like, Latrice, this sounds amazing, you want to take this further, I have a workshop coming up this Thursday on how to build a 200K career as a woman of color. It is all about how to have a 200K career with peace, personal freedom, and still having family time, right? If this is what you want and you're like, this is me, Latrice, I'm ready to set healthy boundaries, establish a great work-life balance, put pivot in the comments. I'll send you all the link to the free workshop. So whether you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, I'll go ahead and get you all that link to the free workshop. Again, it's how to build a successful 200K career, y'all, because 100K just ain't enough right now. It's just not enough, and we need more than enough. And right now, with inflation, with possible recession, with layoffs, 100K is not enough. We need to be at that 200K mark so we are feeling safe and secure. All right. So put pivot in the comments. I'll send you that link, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.